Okay, good evening everyone from a nice warm Death Valley region of California. My name is Mike Jerry, and tonight we're going to continue on our galaxy quest across the galaxy-rich region of the sky that's high in the sky tonight and for the next couple of months, which is why it's often referred to this time of year as galaxy season. And let me start off the way I normally start off, the way I should start off anyway, which is going over really quickly what my setup is and show you guys what I'm using to do my streaming with. To do that, I'm going to need to turn off the test pattern and look at my setup here. Okay, so what I use is a 6-inch imaging Newtonian. It's an f4 imaging Newtonian. It's called imaging because it's a fairly fast focal ratio of f4, which is wonderful for imaging because it collects light much faster into the camera than a slower scope that's an f5 or 6 or 7 or 8. Hey Ollie, good to see you. Good morning to you. Thanks for being here. And this is where the this up here is the focuser, where the eyepiece, or in my case the camera, gets stuck into, so that we can see what the telescope is looking at. And it's all riding on a Celestron Evolution AltAz mount that is then mounted on a Celestron Wedge that keeps the entire thing precisely polar aligned with the northern celestial pole, such that simple one-axis rotation of the mount tracks the sky very accurately, so we can do exposures of what's going on up there, and the scope will very precisely follow the sky. And our exposures hopefully won't smudge or smear or do any of that stuff. And usually we do pretty well with that. And so then here's the table where I'm sitting at right now using this computer to talk to you. And it's all mounted on a spare no expense cinder block mount that's all glued together with construction adhesive so that it doesn't move. So all that stuff, the cinder block, pier, and the wedge stay outside. Everything else goes in for the night. But I can, by leaving the wedge outside, I can stay polar aligned, which is the part of the alignment that takes a lot of time. And so it's nice to not have to do that part at least. I can just come out and plop the mount on the wedge and plop the scope on the mount and just do a regular star alignment, and I'm ready to go. So let's go to our planetarium, and as usual I'm using Stellarium. And we are currently pointed at Alioth, which is in the handle of the Big Dipper. And then here is that rich, all these orange, red, and blue, and yellow ovals are all the galaxies that we're going to be looking at here. And we've already done, on the first 2 sessions, we've already done a bunch of them. We've done this whole list. So we're going to highlight those to see all the ones that we've done so far and the ones that we have to do. So let's just start off where we on the next one here, which is looks like NGC 4228, and that looks like a pretty good one. So let's send the scope on over there and find our SharpCap. And as always, I'm using SharpCap as my image capture software, which has this nice new sequencer. I'm using the beta version to be able to use this sequencer, which allows me to quickly change between settings of looking for stuff and then the settings for imaging stuff, which are very different. And here we have a smudge right on there. So let me move that kind of in the middle a little bit more here. And I'm getting that same error message that I always get, which I guess I need to... I didn't get that error message last time. And I'm not sure why, but So I thought, well, gosh, maybe I will just, maybe it somehow fixed itself. And so I didn't bother following up with getting the log out or all that kind of stuff of SharpCap to see if the developer can figure out what the problem is. But so I thought maybe it was fixed, but nope, clearly it is still there. So alright, so we are looking at NGC 4228. And let's see. Let's synchronize on that since we moved our... Oh, this is an interesting looking one. Active galaxy, which means it could have some interesting shape to it. And let me turn my background music on here. So for those of you who get too bored, you can just be lulled off to sleep. Alright, no, not that one. This one. Yeah, it's definitely got to be an interesting looking shape. That's for sure. Okay, let's move you over here like that, and maybe back you off here like that. And let's make sure we have our enhancements put in place here to sharpen things up a little bit, be able to see a little bit better detail. How's our filter doing? We're still set for 12, although we rarely hit it, so that's fine. Okay. There we are. Let's go ahead in and zoom in a little bit here. And I can make you go away. I'll have to give this a few frames to figure out. A few sub-exposures to pick off some detail in this one. So 4228, let me go over here to Wikipedia on my other computer. NGC 4228. And let's see. Ooh. I do have that right? 4228. Yes. Wikipedia has no entry for this galaxy. Okay, so we're just going to have to depend on what Stellarium has to say. Which isn't much either, not surprisingly. It says it's an active galaxy, so they think it's interacting with something else, presumably another galaxy or something. It's definitely an odd shape. Definitely an unusual shape. See how much detail we can resolve out of this. Yeah, it is definitely an irregular looking one. Zooming in will provide us a whole lot more other than graininess until we get a few more sub-exposures in, but let me try. Let's just see. If I can find another site. cs.astronomy.com. Astronomy magazine. Alright. So this is the Astronomy magazine website. NGC 4228 is a dwarf barred irregular starburst galaxy located approximately 10 million light years away in Canis Venatici. While similar to the Small Magellanic Cloud, it is both larger and brighter. UGCA, or PGC 39145, is another are the galaxy catalogs. It's the very faint galaxy near the bottom right corner. Okay, yeah, so we are in the same. So bottom right corner, there's, I think this right here is another faint galaxy. It appears to be a dwarf spheroidal, but I could not find any information. This person imaged this over 9 nights in July of 2018. So the picture he has is much more detailed and colorful, obviously, because he used a color camera. So we'll have to see what detail we can tease out of this with 10 minutes of sub-exposures. But apparently... Oh, I see. Oh, wait a minute. No, I've got... Okay, I see. There it is. That right there, I believe, is the galaxy they're talking about. I think. Yes. So right down here, there's a fuzzy spot. That is what he's talking about. The very faint galaxy near the bottom right corner. Yeah, this down here is what he's talking about. That's another galaxy, apparently. And even in his much more resolved image, you can't really see anything more than a fuzzy spot. But that apparently is a galaxy that, well, perhaps the galaxy that it is interacting with, allowing it to be so unusual. Not sure. Well, we'll give this the old 10 minutes to see what we can get to. I can probably brighten this up a little bit now, so you guys can see it a little bit better. But definitely a weird little one here. $10 million light years away, though, so it's still one of our local, kind of in our super group of local galaxies. Anything within about 12 or 15 million light years is considered kind of one of our local dudes. This right here appears to be a galaxy. That's a fuzzy spot. (4228) and 4214 are the same. Really? Oh, you're right. Actually, this says it too. Well, that's pretty odd, isn't it? And Wikipedia did have information on that. Ha! Including a nice Hubble image. Wow, kind of a wild Hubble image. Interesting. Now, Stellarium does not have the 4214 nomenclature, it just has 4228. And 4214 seems to be the more common name for it. So it's called it's a starburst galaxy because of the large star-forming regions in the galaxy's center. There are two. Well, actually, they consider them two. The two star-forming regions are actually individually named. which is, you can't really see it in this picture, but there are two kind of clumps in here of bright star-forming regions. And I don't think I'll have the resolution with my camera to pick that out. But one of them contains a superstar cluster rich in Wolf-Rayet stars. And the other one is a younger thing containing many younger stars. So, well, that's 10 minutes right there. Don't know that we're going to get much, but yeah, there's definitely the soft fuzzy bit there. We definitely got something else here. Actually, these all right here, these soft fuzzy spots, you can tell stars here are sharp and bright. These are fuzzy smudges. So there's quite a few galaxies actually in this image. But this is definitely an interesting one. This is one that could probably stand to have some data collected on it for some time. But we've got many other things to see, and wow, that's interesting. It's we got other things to get to. But yeah, that smudge definitely shows up there. Oh yeah, definitely one here. That's definitely a smudge as well. One down here. Fun. Okay. Well, let's mark that one as done and go on to the next. Okay, where are we going to next? Caldwell 32, I guess the Whale Galaxy. Alright. Yeah, okay, right there. Start the image on that. Okay. Whale Galaxy. Yeah, a whale with a baby. Okay. Ooh, and another one down here. Well, you know what? Actually, I think I'm going to see if I can get both of those. What the heck? Oh, it's already there. It's already there. Ah, excellent. Good, don't have to do anything. Alright, start over. Both of these galaxies are in there because of the orientation of the scope. Both of them are actually there. So both of these, we're going to catch both of these in the image. Cool. That's what I was hoping we could do. Alright, NGC 4631. NGC 4631. NGC 4631. Fun galaxy. NGC does not exist, although it's sitting right there. Also known as the Whale Galaxy, or Caldwell 32, is a barred spiral in the constellation Canis Venatici. The galaxy's slightly distorted wedge shape gives it the appearance of a herring or a whale, hence its nickname. Because this nearby galaxy is seen edge-on from Earth, professional astronomers observe this galaxy to better understand the gas and stars located outside the plane of the galaxy. Yeah, there we go. We got both of them right in there. Sweet. Sweet, sweet. There's the two of them. Coolies. Alright. NGC 4631 contains a central starburst, which is a region of intense star formation. The strong star formation is evident in the emission from ionized hydrogen and interstellar dust heated by the stars formed in the starburst. The most massive stars that form in star formation regions only burn hydrogen gas through fusion for a short period of time, after which they explode as supernovae. So many supernovae have exploded in the center of NGC 4631 that they are blowing gas out of the plane of the galaxy. This super wind can be seen in X-rays and in spectral line emissions. The gas from this super wind has produced a giant diffuse corona of hot X-ray emitting gas around the whole galaxy. So lots of stuff. Oh, and we got photobombed by a satellite. Look at that. Is that on the first? No, it's on the second sub, because it wasn't on the first. We just got nice photobomb there. Okay, and so its friend here has a nearby companion, the dwarf elliptical galaxy NGC 4627, and that is its little buddy right here above. It was listed in the Atlas of Peculiar Galaxies as a double galaxy, or a galaxy pair, these two here. So NGC 4631 and 4627 are part of the NGC 4631 group, a group of galaxies that also includes the interacting galaxies NGC 4656 and 4657. However, exact group identification is problematic because this galaxy and others lie in a part of the sky that is relatively crowded. Estimates of the number of galaxies in this group range from 5 to 27, and all studies identify very different member galaxies for this group. So I don't know if this is... may have to go to... yeah, see, I don't know. Let's turn off the... oops, no, wrong one. Let's turn off the filters and get the identification number for that other galaxy. Okay, yeah, so this is 56 and 57 down here. Yeah, okay. Yeah, and this is the companion double galaxy. Okay. So 46 and 57. Yeah, 56 and 57. Okay, so the dwarf galaxy, right? Okay, yeah. So the dwarf galaxy is 27, and these two are 56 and 57. A galaxy here and a galaxy here that are interacting, so their gravity is basically interacting and pulling each other apart. So, cool, okay. Cool, cool. What's most interesting about colliding galaxies is, like in our own galaxy, you know, we are one star in a galaxy of billions and billions of stars, and when seen from far away, it looks like we're just one huge bright clump of stars, like the galaxies we're looking at here. And but when two galaxies collide, the chances of two stars within those galaxies actually colliding is incredibly low, because there's so much space between all the stars in a galaxy. There's just light years between every star. So it's like one grain of sand every 10 miles apart from the next grain of sand, and two beaches colliding. It's just, there's so much distance between each one of the stars that an actual physical collision just doesn't occur. The only thing that does happen is just what you're seeing here. Their gravity will impact each other and actually misshape and tear each other apart, but that's simply their gravitational effects that are doing that. It has nothing to do with them actually physically making any collisions with each other. and here comes another satellite coming through in the other direction. But this is the Whale Galaxy. Does look like kind of a fish. Pointed, wedgy head, long, skinny tail. And it's got a little baby with it too, so the mama whale and the baby. There's a smudge there that's a galaxy. That looks like it's probably a smudgy galaxy. This is obviously a smudge in here, but I can't tell if it's part of this, part of 56 and 57 or not. Let me go look at their pages. There's a highly warped barred spiral located in Canis Venatici and is sometimes informally called the hockey stick galaxies or the crowbar galaxy. It's a member of the 4631 group. A luminous blue variable in super outburst was discovered in 5657 on March 21st, 2005. A luminous blue variable in super outburst. A hockey stick galaxy. Or crowbar. Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure that this fuzzy bit up here is considered part of it. Doesn't seem to be, but they're interacting and warping each other so badly out of shape that this could be part of it as well. Well, just about coming up on our 10th minute. It is a pretty cool looking pair. A couple of binary pairs of galaxies. And a crisscross of satellite imagery, satellites going through it. Definitely a fuzzy one up there. Looks like a fuzzy one there. Fuzzy one there. And that's 10 minutes. Yeah. Very cool. Okay, another couple. Knocked off the list. Okay. The Whale Galaxy. Right. So we can add the whale. Boom. And we can add 56. Boom. Boom. Knocking two out with one deal. Okay. Oh, and look at, you see here's when I don't keep my filters on, here's the galaxies that you can see. Look at them all. You can't even see the constellations or the stars. There's so many galaxies. There's billions and billions and billions of galaxies. So I have to keep my filters on in order to be able to see actually the stuff that we want to see. Okay, so here we go. That's a PGC. This one might be, Mag 14 and 15. That one's going to be pretty faint. I think we're going to pass up on that one. That one's going to be a very faint little guy. That's small. That's faint. That is unknown. That is absolutely tiny. The box. Oh, this is the one Ollie was talking about the other day. Okay, you know what? I think we'll just take a quick shot at this one and then we'll go up to the box. Because that's the one Ollie was talking about, I believe, last time. see anything in there yet, but this is going to be pretty small, so I'm just going to assume it's in there. We didn't slew far enough to have it to have it go off. Yeah, and there's no image in Stellarium of it even, so let's see what our first sub pulls down from this. I think it's going to be, hey Pete, thanks for stopping by. How's things over in Utah? I bet you they're warming up like they are here. We've been 90-ish the last week or so, so things are starting to warm up here. Finally, we got March was kind of a cool month for us. In fact, we don't even have any bombers out yet. And bombers, for those who aren't familiar with our area, are large biting horseflies that we are famous for, or infamous for, here in this particular region of Eastern California. And they will only show up when the nights get warm enough that enough warm nights string together that they start actually hatching or birthing or whatever it is they do to show up. Yeah, see, there it is. It's very, very faint. I'm not going to spend any time on it. It's not going to be worth trying to resolve much out of that, but there it is right there. And that's what mag 14, mag 15 surface brightness. It's kind of at the edge of what I can do, so it's not very big. So we're going to pass on that, but there it was in all its glory. And we're going to add that, say we did it, and move on. And we're going to go look at the box. 4314. Yeah, that one. Yeah, this one was really small, but this one, nope, not that one. That one was also too small. The box. That's the one we wanted to go see. Ollie mentioned this the other day. Actually, its size is really small too. Wow, this one's also really small. Well, doesn't matter. Ollie said he wanted to see it, so. Oh, it's an interesting little group, though. Okay, I get it. That's cool. Yeah, you can see them in there. Alright. The individual galaxies look very small, but the group, it looks like it's an interesting group of them. So, wow, look at that. That's pretty cool. Well, I look forward to seeing what we can get out of that. Do they get bombers in Vegas? No. No. In fact, the bombers don't exist more than about... You know what? Are they in Shoshone? I think they are in Shoshone. They basically, wherever there's water in this immediate area. They're down at China Ranch, they're up here in Tacoma, and then at the hot springs. And I believe they're also in Shoshone as well. But you go outside of that area, and that's it. They're not in Charleston View. They're not in Death Valley Junction. They're not in any of that kind of thing. So they're just kind of in this immediate area. Our own special delight. Oh, okay. So there they are. But I'm going to clear that. See how the stars have blurred because the mount wasn't quite settled. So I'm going to clear that stack and start over again. Just clear that first sub-exposure out and we'll get... Really, it's only in the 50s there, Pete? How can there be a 40-degree temperature difference between us? You're getting a daytime high in the 50s? We're at 90 already and have been for a little while. You know, you're at higher altitude, but still 40 degrees? That sounds like a much bigger difference than it should be. Jeff asks how I attached the wedge to the concrete block. Okay, good question, Jeff. Well, these stars are still a bit ovaled. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna start that again too. That's okay, because we've got other things we can look at here. Jeff just asked the question of how I actually attached the wedge to the cinder blocks. And you can probably see in here, Jeff, if I zoom right in, you can see that there are bolts sticking down through here. So I actually have this bottom plate, the whole wedge, this upper part rotates on this bottom part. So these two pieces here are actually two different parts. So once you take these three chrome bolts off, the top part comes off the bottom part, and then you can actually lag this base plate to the blocks. I put this piece of wood in between here, just as I don't like bolting two really hard things together without something with a little bit of give between them. So the board is in here, and this was my old wedge, the baseboard of my old wedge, which actually is glued with the construction adhesive to the block anyway. So I didn't want to remove that. But basically, I just hammer drilled through 3 holes through the cinder block and lagged right through it. And so it's actually lagged to the top cinder block. And that's how that is attached. There we go. That's better. Finally the mount stopped moving. So, cool. So this is why I guess they call it the box, because you can see there's almost a square here of galaxies. So let me know, Jeff, if you have any other questions about that. This is the box. Let's see what 4169 NGC 4169 NGC 4169. Is it? Well, it may be a Hickson compact group. I don't see an entry for 4169 itself. Okay. HCG 61A, which is one of the Hickson groups. So there it is. Okay, yeah. So it's a Hickson. Okay. No, it doesn't have. There's no specific article for it. But it's NGC 4169, 70, 74, and 75. So it's the Hickson Compact Group 61. It's one of the Hickson Compact Groups. So there you are. Not much other information on it that I can see. But it's a little group of 4 galaxies. And obviously there's more here too. There's a smudge there. Various little tiny smudges here and there, but compact little group. Hey John, haven't seen you in a while. Yeah, you're joining in late. Well, late for you certainly. After midnight your time. I was able to stretch my my window to the right just enough to have this one little important box that I like to have, which tells me how many sub-exposures have been stacked, how many have been ignored. Very handy for telling what's going on without bringing up the live stack window. And in this version of the beta, it just has to, for some reason, something expanded. One of these boxes got a little bigger. I think maybe this one got a little more space in it or something. This one actually has a bunch of space at the end of it too. But whoa! And we just got totally photobombed right through the box itself by a satellite. Zoom. Oh well, there you are. The 7th sub just totally zinged us. So tell me, John, what is your handle, Guzzy Alpha? Are you a motorcycle guy, perhaps? At a guess? You like Italian hardware, do you? I'm guessing on that, but I have a friend who has who's kind of a Moto Guzzy snob. Lots of interesting stuff up here. Yeah, oh, there's a fuzzy one there. Aha, Moto Guzzy and Alfa Romeo, yep. You just, you're not a motorcycle guy or a car guy, you like all the Italian hardware, whatever it is. Boy, there's another satellite here. The satellites are just getting even worse and worse, and if Elon Musk has his way, you can say goodbye to amateur astronomy. Because this is going to become the the rule, not the exception. You have 3 actually. Italian opera is fun too. I don't know that I've ever been to an Italian opera. I wouldn't understand it if I went. Coming up on our 10th minute of the box. Well, Ollie, did you get, when you did the box recently, did you have these really cool satellite photo bombs through it? I'll bet you didn't. Look at that, right through the whole box. Cut it right in half. Yeah, well. But there is the box. Alright. box with satellite trails. Okay, so we have to say we've done that one. Alright, who is next? So those were really small. I think this one could be. This will be another really dim one. Let's take a quick look, but I have a feeling this is going to be just really small and dim. Yeah. When Stellarium doesn't have any images of it, that's a bad sign right there. Let's make sure you're not moving still. Take a second here. Okay. On that last one we had to kill, what, two initial subs? No, actually, this stuff being between Ursa Major and Virgo and Leo is actually in my kind of dead eastern. It's high in my eastern sky at the moment, so it shouldn't have been. It shouldn't have been the ISS. Okay, so what do we got? 4104. Yeah, this is going to be a real low surface brightness, and it's going to be pretty small. So I don't think we're going to see much out of this, but we'll try giving it a shot. John says Photoshop 6 used to have a neat routine to remove satellite trails. I forgot what it is, but it was an Adobe employee who gave a lecture, and really? Yeah, so there's that little guy right there. That's 4104. That's not going to be much to see, so we're gonna call that good and say we've seen that. He's a really small guy that we won't be able to tease much out of, so I think we'll just call that done and move on. Joink. Alright, come back into the fold here. Yeah, another really small one, 4448. This one's, yeah, that one's a bit better. Let's come down into here. Let's see how we get with this one. Okay, so these two stars here are these two stars here, which should point almost directly at it, so it's going to be in here. Alright, let's try pulling a sub and seeing if we can see anything interesting out of it. Did we get to the Leo triplets? No, we have not done the Leo trio yet, John. Still working our way over from Ursa Major. So basically we started at the Big Dipper 2 sessions ago, and we've been working our way over to this direction. And the Leo trio is up in here. So we probably won't even get to it tonight. We might get to it tomorrow night, because this weekend is looking a lot like last weekend did, which is Friday and Saturday night, 2 nights in a row are looking pretty good, and then kind of crappy thereafter. So I may again do what I did last time and do 2 nights in a row, tonight and tomorrow night, and then take a few days off to let the clouds go away, and possibly sneak one more night in before the moon starts getting too big. I believe the new moon is on Sunday, so I should be able to get into middle of next week before it starts getting too big, it starts being a problem. Okay, well there's that one there. Again, a really small, faint one. Kind of interesting. I might let it pull a second sub just to see what I can get. See what the second sub exposure gets me. If it gets me anything promising here. Yeah. It's pretty small. So, I think we'll just keep moving on. It's kind of at the limits of what's fun to get. The goal is to see as many as we can, and not to come on. Okay. Okay, I'm not sure why that's not centering, but there you are. 44, 48, I think we've already gone by that one. Let's see what we got here. Oh, okay, well here's definitely a keeper. This is the koi fish. Okay. The koi fish. Yeah, this one's definitely going to be something worth seeing. Yeah, and got a smudge right there in the screen. Okay, so let's start the imaging on that one. This will be the koi fish galaxy. Oh, yeah, Germany's all bad weather. Well, we have our share now and again, but, well, actually we don't have our share. We have a lot less bad weather than most other places, but that's why we don't have any greenery here in the desert, because it's just all really dry. Alright, 4559, the koi fish. Let's see what... 4559 NGC 4559 go. Intermediate spiral galaxy with a weak inner ring structure and Coma Berenices. Distance estimates range from about 20 million to 31 million light years. It's a member of the Coma 1 group. 2 supernovae were recorded, one in 1941 and one in 2019. In 2016, a luminous blue variable experienced a supernova-like outburst in 4559. Okay. Intermediate spiral galaxy, about 30 million light years away. And you can see once again we've got some ovaling in here, so for some reason the mount is moving a little bit on me. It's taking extra time to settle. There, those are nice and round. That's better. Which means the galaxy will also be a lot less smudged too. So now we should be able to gather some sub-exposures. I love it when that second sub-exposure comes in and the screen just and so noticeably darkens. Boom. John, you asked, is that the koi fish you were discussing? Were we discussing a koi fish? I don't remember. But this is the koi fish galaxy anyway. Some other fuzzy spots in here as well. Oh yeah, definitely. Look at the nice little spiral down here. Nice little spiral galaxy down here. Look at that little guy. Little flying saucer down there. Sharp too. Fuzzy, fuzzy. That was nice and sharp. Well, definitely a galaxy up here. Yeah, definitely a galaxy with a bright core. Fuzzy outer. Probably also another spiral. Yeah, I'm not sure why it got named koi fish. Does it look like a fish? Maybe it does. Looks like it's kind of got a double tail on the back here. And some koi have some pretty interesting designs on them, so. Tonight when I was starting to get set up, I kind of gambled a little bit on the 8:30 start time because the sun isn't setting here till about 7:15 now. I try to leave about 90 minutes between sunset and the start of the session because it usually takes about that much time between sunset after sunset to get to astronomical dark, but so 8:30 is only about 75 minutes. So I thought maybe I've been pushing it a little bit, but you know, it worked out to be pretty good. So thankfully, StarSense, which is the auto align tool that I use, you can see on the side of my scope here, this little camera unit on the side of the scope here. This is a separate little camera. That's not the camera that actually we're seeing through. The camera that we're seeing through actually goes into the eyepiece holder up here, the focuser. This is a separate little camera that does my automatic alignments. So basically it slews the scope to 4 different points in the sky, takes a picture, and inside it has software and a 32-bit microprocessor that actually determines where exactly the scope is pointing when it took that picture, and then knows, after taking 4 of those pictures, what the whole rest of the sky is. So it does the star alignment for the telescope automatically. And neat thing about it is that it can, because it's a camera, very sensitive camera in there, it can actually see, it's much more sensitive than the eye. So I can actually start doing the alignment when I can only with the naked eye see a few of the brightest stars and nothing else. It's still pretty bright sky, but the camera can see dozens and dozens of stars in places where all I see is still somewhat blue sky. So it's even though I'm having to do my alignment when the sky is still fairly light when I start this early, thankfully the star sense is able to do it. So it's good. It's a good thing to have. I really love having the star sense. It's a Celestron technology that works as good, if not better, than its billing, as opposed to their communication infrastructure, like their built-in Wi-Fi and that kind of thing on their mounts, that tends to be pretty darn flaky. So they do some things good and some things not so good. But in this case, the star sense works really well. Alright, let's shift click to do a subtle adjustment there. Let's crank this a little bit more and brighten it up for you guys. Do not use Bing or Edge to search for koi fish galaxy. Okay. When we were young, we used a star chart in paper, collimated our scopes on our backs, and searched and searched and searched. When we were young, huh? Yes, it's true. It's true. I had my star atlases. It was the searching and searching and searching was called star hopping. And you'd get out your star charts and try and jump from one one observable configuration, asterism of stars to the next, to try and get from one interesting thing to another. And hope you didn't get lost on your trail of breadcrumbs along the way, because then you'd have to go all the way back to your original object and start all over again if you get really lost. It took us a long time to find things, which was good and bad, because obviously you got to see far fewer of the interesting objects you wanted to see in any given night. It looks like my internet is doing crazy things here for the moment. Anyway, as I was saying, you'd get to see far fewer objects than you'd hoped to see in a night, when you had to do all that star hopping to go from one object to the next using your star charts. But then oftentimes you'd also discover things. You'd run into interesting things that you didn't even realize were there. So it could also be a bit of an adventure with some unexpected pleasant surprises too. When in going from one object to another, you discover a whole different thing that didn't even realize was there. And maybe it was in the star charts, and maybe it wasn't. But you'd still get to discover neat things. So sometimes all that searching wasn't such a bad thing. Depends on what part of the sky you were in, I suppose. Alright, well there's 11 minutes on koi fish, so that's kind of overtime. Oh, look at that. Photobombed. But there's the koi fish galaxy. So, let's move along and mark this guy. Doink, doink, and go to the next one. Let's see, I think, have I done all you go? Okay, these all look like they have images, so these next couple are going to be some good ones. Looks like we're going to have some stuff that we're going to see. Oh yeah, right there. Nice edge on. Okay, good. Doink, doink. Going to have us a nice edge on galaxy here. Let's make sure. What? That's not what I was looking for. This is what I was looking for. Okay, says we got a good connection. Alright. Seem to be getting some hourglassing on my my monitoring computer seems to have dropped the connection. So I'm trying to get it back. Oh yeah, that's a nice one. That's a nice one. That's a nice one. Alright, come on you. Try refreshing it again. Looks like I got the connection back, sort of, but the picture is still showing the... There we go. Looks like I'm up to date. Good. Yeah, this is a pretty nice looking one. We'll back off on that stretch just a little bit early on. But yeah, you can see a very clearly defined dust trail through here, and almost a perfectly round central bulge. Look at that. Almost perfectly edge on. Almost perfectly. It's got a nice little companion here too. Yeah, that's a pretty intense round central bulge. That's a pretty one. So what did I say this was? 4565. 4565. NGC 4565. Huh. Well, the good news is my stream seems fine, but my monitoring computer seems to be having all kinds of internet issues. Not sure why. I'm connected to the correct one. For some reason, I can't seem to keep an internet connection on that computer. It just keeps dropping. Well, if I'm, yeah, now I'm getting server not found error messages on this computer. Well, that's interesting. How odd. Well, anyway, if I'm missing some of your chats, you have to bear with me here. For some reason, my monitoring computer is not for whatever reason is not it's dropping internet connection. I'm not sure why. 'Cause my internet connection on the primary machine is just fine. So anyway, NGC 4565, also known as Needle Galaxy, is an edge-on spiral about 30 to 50 million light years away. Boy, that's quite a range. Guess they don't really know, huh? Distance of 42.7 plus or minus 12 million light years. That's a bit of a fudge there. It lies close to the North Galactic Pole and has a visual magnitude of approximately 10. It's known as the Needle Galaxy for its narrow profile. First recorded in 1785 by William Herschel, it's a prominent example of an edge-on spiral. It's a giant spiral galaxy more luminous than the Andromeda Galaxy. Much speculation exists in literature as to the nature of the central bulge. In the absence of clear-cut dynamical data on the motions of the stars in the bulge, the photometric data alone cannot adjudge among various options put forth. However, its exponential shape suggests that it's a barred spiral. Studies with the help of the Spitzer Space Telescope not only confirmed the presence of a central bar, but also showed a pseudo-bulge within it as well as an inner ring. 4565 has at least 2 satellite galaxies, one of which is interacting with it. It has a population of roughly 240 globular clusters, more than the Milky Way. Cool. Obviously, one of its companions is down here. That's definitely one. They're claiming that something is interacting with one of them is interacting with it too, perhaps. So. Pretty cool one, though. I want to back off a little bit on it, though. Just so that dark dust lane is a little bit more visible. sharp little one up here. Yep, definitely a nice one up there. This is clearly one here. That's not a star. It's nice seeing them in context when they're that big. Seeing with its surrounding neighbors. Very cool. The Needle Galaxy. Alright. That's a good one. Alright. Add that to the list. And then 4494. Alright. Yeah. There you are right there. Okay. $44.94. Well, looks like just a regular bulge of stars. Okay. $44.94. NGC 4494. $44.94. Yeah, it's just an elliptical galaxy located in parentheses. It's located at a distance of about 45 million light years, which, given its apparent dimensions, means that it is about 60,000 light years across, which is about half the size of the Milky Way. Discovered by William Herschel in 1785. It hosts a supermassive black hole with an estimated mass of 27 million plus or minus 20 million solar masses, based on velocity dispersion. A nuclear dust ring has been detected in NGC 4494 based on observations by the Hubble Space Telescope. It has semi-major axis 0.6 arcseconds, which corresponds to 60 parsecs at the distance of NGC 4494. Its ring is symmetric, implying that the dust has settled in this galaxy after the galaxy merger with a relatively gas-rich galaxy that led to its creation. The core of 4494 is kinematically decoupled, as with many elliptical galaxies, probably a result of a galaxy merger. Not much to see in this one. It's going to be pretty boring. We'll let it get it. It's just about done its third minute, so we'll get it to 3 minutes, but not going to be a whole lot to see with this one. Yeah, that one actually blurred anyway. That sub was, yeah, it's sub smeared. In fact, I'm surprised it kept that. It was a smeary sub. Okay, well, in any event, we're done. I'm not gonna spend much more time on that one. It's just a regular elliptical. It's nothing spectacular, but we've seen it, so we get to add it to our list. Who is next? Okay, I guess we're going to jump across to here a little bit. Oh, this one's really faint, really small. In fact, it doesn't even have an NGC designation. So 4724, size 4x7. Actually, that's a pretty good one. Okay. So there's obviously two in here, so let's do, yeah, that's going to be a nice one. So let me pick a star kind of in between the two. Pick a star in between the two and see if we can't get them both. Should be able to. Okay, there's that one right there. Yeah, the two bright ones, yeah, so this should be up in there. So yes, I think this should work just fine. So let's do that. Yeah, this should be a nice, should be a pretty one right in there. A little bit of a star cluster going on. 4725. Okay. And you see 4725. For some reason, I'm having interesting little Wi-Fi issues with this guy today. NGC 4725. An intermediate barred spiral. Oh, there's a bunch of galaxies in here. Intermediate barred spiral with a prominent ring structure located in the north, parentheses, near the North Galactic Pole. It was discovered by William Herschel in 1785. This one is also about 40 million. Well, they're calling it 40 mega light years. I've never seen it referred to that way, but okay. 40 million light years from the Milky Way. It's the brightest member of the Coma 1 group of the Coma Sculptor cloud, although it is relatively isolated from the other members of this group. This galaxy is strongly disturbed and is interacting with neighboring spiral galaxy NGC 4747, which is the other one we got in the frame here, with its spiral arms showing indications of warping. The pair have an angular separation of 24 arc minutes, which corresponds to a projected linear separation of 370,000 light years. A tidal plume extends from 47 toward 25. This is a suspected Type 2 Seyfert galaxy with a supermassive black hole at the core. The galactic plane is inclined approximately 46 degrees to the line of sight from Earth. It's a pretty nice one, though. Tis it is. Hopefully I'm not missing any chat from you guys. For some reason my monitoring computer is having, I don't know if it's Wi-Fi antenna issues, I don't know if it's a hardware issue, what it is, but it keeps dropping its internet for some reason. John says, Wi-Fi issues aside, another fantastic live mic. Got to see some. Oh, thanks, John. I appreciate it. Springtime galaxy season, such fun. 1 a.m., about 7 hours sleep if I'm lucky. Yeah, yeah, it's late for you. Good night, John. Thanks for stopping by. Yeah, so hopefully things are not too interrupted at your end. Yeah, definitely having some Wi-Fi weirdness. Not really sure what's going on there, but definitely having some weirdness going on. Oh well, stuff happens. All I can do is... No, Pete, I didn't know that. I did not know he was also a composer. Yeah, well now the internet connection is definitely showing some signs of weirdness going on. So apologize if the stream is breaking up a little bit. The internet connection definitely showing some up and down behavior, but definitely a pretty galaxy though, and all of its neighbors here too. 1, 2, 3 neighbors in here. Some nice, in amongst a nice little star cluster as well. Yeah, I'm not sure. Definitely having some internet weirdness. So, apologize if the audio or the image is herky-jerky, but having some sort of weirdness going on. But a nice little image here. Several galaxies and a nice little star cluster to boot. Pretty picturesque. just about coming up on our 10th minute here. Pretty little group. Cool, there's 10 minutes. Well, that's pretty sweet. Give it one more quick stretch here, but I think that's a pretty good image there. Some interesting galaxies in there. So that's pretty nice. Okay. Moving on. Next target. We got you and you. Add highlight. Okay. Alright, we've got a Messier object next. M64, the Black Eye Galaxy. Yeah. Yeah, there it is. Right up there. Okay, let me move it down into the... down just a little bit, over just a little bit. Gotta bring it to the center a little bit better. That'll be about right. Resynchronize that with the Planetarium, and then we'll get the imaging started. And in fact, while this is starting to build its first sub-exposure, I'm going to go throw on another layer here, so I'll be right back. Okay. Black Eye Galaxy. Definitely a bright core and 64, 48, 26. Let's see what 4826 has got here. The Black Eye Galaxy, or Evil Eye Galaxy, is a relatively isolated spiral galaxy 17 million light years away, discovered by Edward Pigott in March of 1779 and independently by Johann Albert Bode in April of the same year, as well as by Charles Messier the next year. A dark band of absorbing dust partially in front of its bright nucleus gives rise to the nickname of the Black Eye or Evil Eye Galaxy. Huh. Interesting. So there's half of it is kind of dark, and the other half is bright. Don't know if we'll be able to see that in this image, but figure it out. Bread and ham for breakfast, huh? Alright, Ollie. I'll see you soon. Enjoy your bread and ham breakfast. Getting a little hungry myself, but more galaxies to see. So apparently one portion of this is a dark band. It's got obscuring dust. The galaxy is inclined 60 degrees to the line of sight. At the distance of this galaxy, it has a linear scale of 65 light years per arc second. It's also a Type 2 Seyfert. Central region is a weak source of radio emission. Soft X-ray source has been detected at the nucleus. Which is most likely coming from the circumnuclear region rather than directly from an active galactic nucleus. The disk does produce a vigorous rate of star formation, with also approximately 100 billion stars inside the galaxy. There is also evidence of a recent large inflow of mass. Yeah, I don't know that I'm going to get, that we can see the black eye part, per se. Don't really see that much at all. In fact, I think we're just going to move on this one. Interesting, but for an M object, not as interesting as I would have hoped. So, let's move on. Moving on. Well. Ooh, that one's really tiny. That one's really tiny. Yep, pretty much all really tiny ones. this one's not too bad. Let's do this one. Yeah, it's got a little bit of a spiral action going on. Yeah, there it is right there. Let that settle so it's not moving. And start the image. 4450 is what this is. 4450. NGC 4450. And now all of our internet seems to be back again. It's a member of the Virgo cluster that, like M. Messier 90, shows smooth, nearly featureless spiral arms, with few star formation regions and little neutral hydrogen compared to other similar spiral galaxies, something that justifies its classification as an anemic galaxy. Measurements with the help of the Hubble Space Telescope show the center of this galaxy has a supermassive black hole. Okay. Let's see what we can see. Yep, it's still, the mount was still moving again. So we'll start that over. Looks like a nice little galaxy. It's about 50 million light years away. And about 75,000 light years in diameter, so about 3/4 of the size of our Milky Way. Yeah, there we go. Some round stars. Definitely some interesting structure. A couple of bright bands, bright arms that's close in, and then much wispier and fainter the further out you go. Not much. Not sure. Well, you're definitely starting to see some couple of dark lanes in here. So a little more detail is coming out on the outer arms. As we collect more data, definitely more stuff coming out. Probably increase the stretch a little back a little bit more now. Yeah, as time goes on, we're definitely getting a little bit more detail in the outer spiral part. But I don't think we're going to get a whole lot more than that. So I think we're just going to call it here. Just going to call that there. Alright. Those, okay, we haven't done either of these. So let's go ahead and center on M85 and knock both of these out. Yeah. So there we go with that. Go down a little bit more into the... Oh. No, I was at the wrong zoom level. That was not what I wanted to do. Shoot. Alright, that's good enough right there. I don't need to mess with it more than that. It was right the way I had it, and I was not zoomed out and didn't realize it. Let's see what these two... Yeah, looks like a couple of... a barred elliptical. Just a M85 looks like a regular elliptical. We'll see what they look like. What is this? 4382. Alright, NGC 4382. NGC 4382. a lenticular or elliptical galaxy for other authors. 60 million light years away, estimated to be about 125,000 light years across. Yeah, just a bright core with a fuzzy, nondescript. It was discovered by Pierre Méchain in 1781. It is the northernmost outlier of the Virgo cluster. It is extremely poor in neutral hydrogen and has a very complex outer structure, with shells and ripples that are thought to have been caused by a merger with another galaxy that took place between 4 and 7 billion years ago, as well as a relatively young, less than 3 billion years old, stellar population on its centermost region, some of it in a ring that may have been created by a late starburst. I don't know that it's going to provide much detail, but this other one actually is going to be more interesting. The other one is 4394. Okay, let's try 4394. NGC 4394. Actually, more interesting. A barred spiral and is situated about 40 million light years from Earth. So 40 and 60. So that's interesting. So the much bigger and brighter M85 is 50% further away. This little guy is 40 million light years away. This one is 60. And it's still that much bigger and brighter. And they are. And yet, it's a presumed companion to M85. So even at 20 million light years apart, they're presumed to be companions. We got another galaxy here that's probably also a companion of the two. This is definitely, you can see two, we got an inner ring and an outer ring and a nice barred structure with a very well defined core. Interesting. Let's see how our stack is. It looks pretty good. Hundreds of billions of stars in all different shapes and sizes of galaxy. these a minute. Go grab a layer, I think. Be right back. Yeah, they come out pretty good, I think. Almost looks like a ovalish shape to the M85. But definitely the companion galaxy. 4394 is definitely the more interesting of the two. M85 is just much bigger and brighter. There's our 10th minute. Cool. Definitely can see why Charles thought it was a comet, though. Definitely a bright M85 is definitely a bright sucker. Okay, so M85, we can add that, and we can take 4394, and we can add that, highlight them both, and moving on. 4293, let's see how you are. Yeah, you know, you might be worth it. Alright. Let's give you a go. Just a PGC. don't have an image for this. We'll see what we can see here. Yeah, it's right in here. Let's pull a sub and see. Hey, Al. Good to see you tonight. You probably have some decent skies too down there. Actually, you might not, because we're in kind of a I'm in kind of a band of clear tonight that you might not have down there closer to the border. So, yeah, tonight it's a gorgeous night up here. Absolutely gorgeous. And in fact, as I was saying earlier, it's looking like tonight and tomorrow night are going to be really nice. And then again a few days of crappiness, so tonight and tomorrow night might be it for this moon cycle for me if that forecast holds up. Because the new moon is on Sunday, and starting Sunday night things are not going to be that great. So I may do another 2 nights in a row deal. We'll have to see. That's interesting. 4293. Let's see what Wikipedia has to say. 4293. It's a lenticular discovered by William Herschel in 1784, described as large extended movable 6 or 7 arc minutes long galaxy is positioned to the north-northwest of the star 11, Berenice, and is a member of the Virgo cluster of galaxies, assumed to lie at the same distance as the Virgo cluster itself, around 54 million light years away. So it has just distinguishable, tightly wound spiral arms with a bar structure at the nucleus. The outer stellar disk appears to be disturbed, suggesting some form of gravitational interaction. It does seem to be a little bit warpy. Sort of a fairly sharp disk and then a fuzzy outer part. On and off with the weather. Yeah, for me it's been like 2-day burst of nice. Like last week it was the same thing. I think it was Friday and Saturday nights of last week too. That it was 2 gorgeous nights in a row. Normally I don't like doing 2 nights in a row, but 2 gorgeous nights in a row, and then a few days of high, thin, wispy clouds, you know, the monsoonal flow kind of stuff that we get through here now and again. And then again, it's looking like a repeat of the pattern again, where it's going to be tonight and tomorrow night are going to be decent, and then back to bunch of high, thin, wispy clouds and warm air. So guess we'll just have to roll with it. I think we'll give this 1 more minute here. We'll let this sub-exposure finish. Don't think we're going to get a whole lot more out of this than what we're going to be, what we're got right here. An interesting little disk. But I think we'll just move on from this. It's too small, I think, for us to really be able to pick out any significant amount of detail. Yeah, so that's about 5 minutes. So we'll call it there. Kind of an isolated galaxy, not much else in the image. So I'll take you as done. Okay. Then we head way up here. Yeah, that one's not. That one's kind of small. So we're gonna bail on that one. And now what we're gonna do, I think, is down here to, well, let's do 98. We'll work our way down. Alright. M98 is next. Yeah. Take you right in there. Alright, give it a second here to settle out. Start the imaging. 98. Yeah, nice little edge-on galaxy there. Okay. 4192. NGC 4192. NGC 4192. Intermediate spiral about 44.5 million light years away. It was discovered by French astronomer Pierre Machin in 1781, along with nearby M99 and M100. It was catalogued by compatriot Charles Messier 29 days later in his Catalogue des Nebulaces. Oh yeah, there's a nice one. Yeah, we'll get some nice spiral arm detail in this one. It looks like a companion galaxy down here. It has a blue shift denoting ignoring of its fast other movement. It has a blue shift denoting ignoring of its fast other movement, vectors of proper motion. It is approaching at about 140 million kilometers per second. The combined mass of the stars in this galaxy is an estimated 76 billion times the mass of the Sun. A member of the Virgo cluster, which is a large cluster of galaxies, part of the local supercluster. About 750 million years ago, it may have interacted with the large spiral galaxy M99. These are now separated by 1.3 million light years. So, I think it collided with M99, which is down here. definitely a nice little spiral. And definitely some companion galaxies too. Got one there, definitely got one there. Looks like a couple of small ones here. Got one over here. That's possibly one there too, fuzzy bit. Galaxies are in this image. Satellite trails. Oh, there's another one up there. Another one up here. Definitely a series of them. definitely a nice bright one there too. Cool. Well, that's 9 minutes. That's probably about as good as it's going to get on that one. So let's go ahead and mark that one as done. And then we will, let's do 90, we'll do 99, and then we'll pop over here and do 100, and that will be the night tonight. The Virgo cluster pinwheel. Yep, right there. Make sure we're way out here. Yeah, bring it up in the view just a little bit. Just to center it just a little bit better. And we'll get it going. Okay. Synchronize that since we adjusted it a little bit. Oh, there's actually another one out here too. Well, if we get it, we get it. If we don't, not going to worry about it. It is what, 4254. Well, it's M99, right? Yeah. So, is a grand design spiral galaxy, approximately 50,000 light years from the Milky Way, discovered by Pierre Marchand. We already knew that. Discovery was then reported to Charles Messier, who included the object in his catalog. Oh, we have a satellite booming across there. It was one of the first galaxies in which a spiral pattern was seen. This pattern was first identified by Lord Rosse, or Rossi, I'm not sure, in the spring of 1846. The galaxy has a morphological classification indicating a pure spiral shape with loosely wound arms. It has a peculiar shape with one normal-looking arm and an extended arm that is less tightly wound. Yeah, so one arm kind of sticking out away a bit. And again, this galaxy, they think, was interacted 750 million years or so, interacted with M98, which is what we were just looking at before. Definitely one little interesting arm sticking off it. Wonder why. That's a pretty slow moving satellite. It could be a geosynchronous satellite that's just moving basically with the speed of the rotation of the Earth. Well, I think it actually is moving a little too fast for that, but maybe. Maybe not. Hey, Gary. I've been looking over at the Wikipedia over there on about this M99. Well, I just completely lost connection with the internet again. I don't know, weird internet up and down stuff. Thanks, Ollie. Thanks for coming. And yeah, like I said, I'll probably see you tomorrow. I probably will be doing another one tomorrow night because it looks like my window of opportunity is tonight and tomorrow night, and then after that, not so much. But so yeah, thanks for stopping by. Good to spend the evening/morning with you. I'm not sure if how much of my chatter there a minute ago was lost. I seem to my internet seems to be doing very weird things. Yeah. So anyway, so you said that you had been doing some imaging. So have you been out doing some actual imaging, or your spectroscopy, or what kind of imaging were you doing? And I apologize if the internet is dropping. I had some... it was dropping earlier and seemed to stabilize again for a bit, and now OBS completely lost connection with the internet there for a minute. So that's when I think I dropped away from you guys. So anyway, it seems to be back for the moment, so I don't know. 2 standard star fields. Okay, so you were doing your photometry. Alright. So I assume mountain computer and everything is working normally again. Did you ever figure out what was going on with the SharpCap? You had problems with the current beta version, and just wondering if you ever figured out what it was. You indicated something about resource allocation, but I haven't had any of those issues with this, with the 7596, which is the current beta version. So just wondering if you ever figured out what was going on there with when you and Dave did the last live stream last week. Interesting. Yeah, you did drop back to the old version, and of course, the price for that is you lost all your sequences. But I haven't noticed any of that issue. So have you tried to reinstall the beta again to see if it repeated, or have you just not even bothered? And while you're answering that, we've gone to 10 minutes on 99, so time to move on to our last target of the evening. Oh, we got some nice fuzzy galaxies down here. More bonuses. Let's move on to our last target of the evening, which is going to be, not you, which is going to be M100. We'll go to the star between these two, so that we'll catch 100 and NGC 4312. Oh shoot, but what I want to do here is I want to make sure I added this before we move on too far here. Okay. Yeah, that's not what I was trying to do. No, I need the star, not the... well, I guess it doesn't actually matter. There's one there. Well, that must be M100 with the star between, so it must be... yeah, so... oh yeah, there's another fuzzy bit there, so that's perfect. So that's what we will do right there, and that will get both galaxies right in the same... right in the same deal here. So we should be able to get 100 and NGC 4312 in one swell foop. So I'll just mark these now as done. And oh, that's the blow dryer galaxy. Okay, well, we've worked our way from Ursa Major. We've now worked our way a good chunk. We're now basically getting right into Virgo. So tomorrow night we'll go. Tomorrow night we may end up doing we'll swing up and do the Leo trio and kind of the exciting stuff that's up in here, and then come down and do some more of the Virgo things. Or maybe I'll start in Virgo and then we'll finish with the exciting stuff in Leo. I don't know. But tomorrow night we'll probably do some of that. Look at that pretty thing right there. Yep, and there's a whole cluster of galaxies in here. Look at all those. Wow, that's pretty cool. My music is a tad strong tonight. Actually, I haven't adjusted the levels. And I'll back it down a little, see if that's a little bit better. When you say a SharpCap update came out, you mean the 3.2 version had an update? Because I checked this afternoon and the beta actually didn't have a weekly release this week. Robin is usually pretty good about getting a Monday release out, but there hasn't been one release since the 29th. So... yeah, there are a couple of spots in that music that are just really briefly significantly louder. But anyway, on the beta version, Yeah, 7596 it came out on the 29th of March, and that's what I had. That's what I was using last week when you were having the problems, and it's still using it now because it's he didn't release one this week. So I have not had any problems with 7596. I may not have had the version before that installed. So I don't know. I may have inadvertently, unwittingly skipped the version you were having problems with. So it's possible I just accidentally leapfrogged over that version. Well, it looks like the internet is going up and down again a little bit on me. Yeah, I don't have very many SharpCap Pro. I am having a weird little error when I go to move the mount. It's giving me a little error message, but the only problems I'm having currently. My disconnections with the mount have completely disappeared now that I've gone to the Ethernet dongle. All my connection issues have simply disappeared, which is very cool. So, I can't complain too much. Things seem to be pretty stable on my end, even with the SharpCap Beta. So this is M100. Let's see what interesting things. It's a Grand Design Intermediate Spiral. It's one of the brightest and largest galaxies in the Virgo's cluster and is approximately 55 million light years away. Its diameter is about 107,000 light years across, which is about the same size as the Milky Way, and being about 60% its large. It's approximately 55 million light years from our galaxy, its diameter being 107,000 light years and being about 60% as large. That is an awkward sentence. I'm not sure what they're trying to say there. At 170,000 light years, it's not 60% the size of our galaxy because our galaxy is only about 100 to it's about the same size, about 100,000 light years across. So I don't know what the 60% is large comment means. Discovered by Pierre Marchand. It was one of the first galaxies in one of the 14 spiral nebula by Lord William Parsons of Ross in 1850. NGC 4323 and 4328 are satellite galaxies, and we got at least one of them here. Which one is this one? Yeah, so we got 4312. Okay, we've got two satellite galaxies here. Yeah, so they're saying these, I guess these two here are the satellites. Because we have 4312 here as well. And there's all kinds of fuzzballs. And there's this fuzzball, there's one there, there's one there, there's one there, there's one there. There's just a whole bunch of galaxies in here around M100. Everything with my rig going well. We just figured out how to stream video from a second scope into OBS using a $15 capture card, so next time we might run two scopes in parallel. I find that hilarious, Gary. you have so many technical problems with running one scope, and now you want to try and run two scopes simultaneously. That should be interesting to watch. I will definitely tune in just to see that. See you running two scopes. Yeah, you run one and Dave can run the other. And then you can each do the trade-off the talking when their other person is doing their scope, and swap scopes, and people people reading the info. Go big or go home. Yes, that is your motto. You do not shy away from biting off big chunks and doing what needs to do, doing what you need to do. That's for sure. Okay, yeah, this is looks pretty good here. M100 showing up pretty nicely. Definitely very cool. So how are you going to run a second scope? You basically going to put a finder scope on top of the C8? Or are you actually going to try and run a second mount and scope? And what scope would that be? Okay, Dave will run the second scope, so that means you're actually planning on running an entire second mount and scope. And what's going to control that? You're going to have an entire second setup there with another control PC. How are you going to control the second scope? Oh, a C6 with a 294. Okay. I see. Okay. How to stream video from a second scope into... Okay, so he'll run the second scope with the C6 and the 294 with a second whole setup. He'll run that, and then you'll run the video feed from his 294 into your OBS, so your computer will be receiving two feeds. That should be entertaining. That should definitely be entertaining. Alright, so there's M100. I think, given that my internet is still doing weird up and down things, I think I'm just going to call it a night here. If the internet was stabilized, I might do another target or two. But now my upload stream is once again going up and down and up and down and up and down. So I think I am just going to call it a night. So sorry for the internet bugaboos that I've been having tonight, but well, sometimes that's just the way it goes. No, Dave's video will come across as a HDMI video with audio and converted to USB for webcam-like capture. Interesting. let's see. You know what? Maybe I'll do... Let's do this pair. See if the internet stabilizes. Let's see what this does. Alright, but to do that I would have needed to do this first. And I didn't. Boink. Okay, so there you are. And I'm not sure. Yeah, okay, so you're going to be this guy. Boy, look at them in here. We got a few in here. Okay, so you're going to be probably that one. Okay, yeah, so we got a little triangle here with a sort of a little bucket with a handle, and that's going to be that right there, with the galaxy up here. So this little guy is going to be right here, so yeah, this should work. However, these guys, this one should be off up here, so I think I'm actually going to drop it down a little bit. See if I can't catch all three of those galaxies. See, there's that error message again. That weird little error message that I keep getting. Okay, that should be all of them right there. So I'm just going to image right from there. That should work to get all three of those. Get all three of those in the image. And there's more of them around too, so we'll see what we do. There will be a block diagram on presentation, should make it. Yes, you are very good at doing those diagrams of things, of what hardware and software, and you're very good at doing that diagram stuff. So you'll probably have a whole schematic there of what you're doing. Here, let's might as well add these to the list since we're doing them. Do I get to select you? Yes, I do. Nice. Got them all. Yeah, there they are. Oh, look at all of them in here. Yeah, there's a bunch. So we got the three primary ones we wanted to get right here, these three, but then there's another one there, got one there, got one there, got one there, got one there. Quite a few. Obviously one here. That's a smudgy one. Cool. Alright, well, give these a little time. We definitely have a selection of galaxies in here. This is a interesting group. Well, for the moment my internet has stabilized, so try a dual setup. Well, that's, well, like you said, go big or go home. So, want to try dual setup? Double the moving parts, double the wires and power supplies, and cool. It goes personally against my KISS philosophy, but I will be, let me know when you do your live stream. I definitely will be, definitely would like to be a fly on the wall for that one. See how you guys do with two setups. Who's gonna do all the color commentary when he's running his own scope? Is he still going to do all the color commentary for you? Okay, you are going to alternate. Well, I look forward to seeing what you do with that. I think it should be at least entertaining. You guys seem to have enough fun just trying to keep one setup going, so I'm quite frankly a bit surprised, but I will definitely like to be there to watch and see how you guys do with that. Yeah, maybe. Who knows? Who knows what the issues will be? You know, it's every night you set up to do one of these things, it's like rolling the dice. You never know. You never know what the issues are going to be. Every night it can be different. Oh, a joint EAA and photometry, right. There you go. Best of both worlds, right? Best of both worlds. EAA and photometry. You guys both get to do what you love doing. Oh, really? So photometry takes 3 hours? Huh. Yeah. Yeah, you would need to do something to keep the folks entertained. Could you imagine doing a live stream where you're waiting for a 3-hour sub? We got 72 minutes left on our sub. Hang out. Ooh, got an ignored sub-exposure. What happened here? Yep, we got an FWHM that just went off the scale. Don't know why. FWHM number went way high. Okay, well, let's see, we just got a bad one. Oh, the transit. Light curve takes about 3. Okay, so yeah, so you're doing that's exoplanet stuff. Yeah. Yep, that makes sense. That totally makes sense. Yeah. Right. Form, plateau, and then finish. Yeah. A 3-hour event, which would be a little bit like watching paint dry. I think yeah, so the EAA would then see some really cool stuff while we watch the grass grow here on this other exoplanet stuff. Yeah. Hey, that's a plan that could work. Every once in a while, just check in to see how the eclipse is doing. Since last time you looked, that could work. Too many people have streamed a live transit. No, probably not. Some people have probably recorded it and then played it back at, 500% speed. I could see you doing a video like that. Where you play it back and maybe take 15 minutes to show the whole thing. That might work. But actually sit through a 3-hour-long live stream to watch a transit? Yeah, I think your audience for that would be fairly small. Unless you had some really chatty people in the chat box. On our last minute here of this really cool galaxy group. This one was a pretty fun one. Did I mark all these yet? I think I did. Let's make sure yeah, I marked them all. Good. So next time, actually I did a few extras here. Yeah, so I'll either start and do more of so tomorrow night we'll either start in here and then end with the Leo stuff, or maybe we'll start with the Leo stuff and end in here, not sure which. Probably I'll start with the Leo stuff and work back the Leo trio and the 2 Leo trios tomorrow night, and then work back into the Virgo cluster stuff and see where we get tomorrow night. But in the meantime, I'm going to call it a night. I've been going for 3 hours, so I'm going to call it a night. Thanks, Gary, for showing up, and thanks everyone for being here, especially if you stuck it out all the way to the end. Really appreciate it. And I'll definitely be sending out notifications tomorrow if I'm going to be doing it tomorrow night. I suspect that's going to be the case because the weather tomorrow is supposed to be favorable. If I can, where is my, yeah. So tomorrow I think the cloud is supposed to be pretty good. So let's see what it actually says here. Yeah, see, the clouds are supposed to stay down in the evening and then start coming up. And then the clouds start coming up late Saturday night into Sunday, and this is what I'm going to be in for the rest of the weeks. But tomorrow evening looks like it should be pretty nice. The wind should be nice. Clouds should be nice. So I should be able to do it again tomorrow night. In any event, thanks everybody for being here, and see you guys tomorrow night. All being well. Anyway, good night everybody. Thanks for being here. I'll see you next time.